To be authentic is to be yourself. To be yourself is a requirement. Be yourself or be no one. This is the truth that you live in, but you may not realize just yet. Today, we're going to explore the concept of, well, authenticity and why it's important to embody the person that you really are. In this modern day and age, it feels like everything is smoke, mirrors, illusions, and tricks. It's hard to know who you are really and to embody that. But it's necessary because you don't want to be a copycat. You don't want to be someone else. It's kind of silly to say that I'm not being myself because ultimately, you are. You will always be yourself, but you may not be the most authentic version of yourself. And this is what we're going to work on today. So, to start off, I wanted to say that not only is it a requirement in this day and age to be yourself, but it is also a benefit for yourself and the world around you. Because to be in alignment with yourself is to live a better life, is to lead with passion. Authenticity comes from your heart. And you know, it may sound cheesy, but everything that comes from your heart is worth it. And ultimately, why does it benefit the world around you? Because it may inspire others. And inspiration leads to action. And this is how we change the world. Action. So, let's get into it. The first step is quite essential, but you know, I think you've seen it coming, honestly. The first step is that you need to, well, this may be a little bit harsh for you guys, but honestly, you need to be okay with being perceived and being judged by others. Because at the end of the day, honestly, it's not your job to control how other people will perceive you or judge you. Ultimately, judgment can be a scary word, which I understand, but judgment is not always negative. For example, right now, I can just look behind me and be like, dang, this creek looks pretty good. This is a judgment. So, you know, the fear of being judged, the fear of being perceived, seen, this idea that you can or want to control how other people see you. Gosh, I can't talk today. I'm too excited. Well, let go of that. You gotta let go of that. Why? Well, because it will limit you. And we don't want to be limited. To be authentic is to be full of infinite possibilities. Hopefully you get my point. Because honestly, I understand where you come from. I will share a story with you, kind of vulnerable right now, but when I was younger, I was also very afraid of being perceived. Growing up autistic girl, if you know, you know, being perceived meant danger. And being perceived by others just meant that they would pick on me, they would bully me, and therefore I wanted to become invisible or become someone that I was not. I was obsessed with how others would see me and perceive me. But ultimately, did it serve me? Absolutely not. It made things worse, to be honest, because then I completely lost myself. I did not know who I was, and did it make me like more likable? No. And ask yourself, if you're so obsessed with being perceived by other people, what kind of value will it bring to you into your life? Will it really serve you? The only person that can serve you is yourself, because no one else will understand you like you do. No one else will support you like you support yourself. And that's kind of the reality. This is why I said this one may be harsh, but it's true. We gotta let go of this kind of expectation that we have to be liked. It's understandable because in the past we live in tribes, and you know, being left out meant it was not a good thing. But now in a modern, you know, day and age, there's so much diversity. There's so much more to life than surviving, being accepted, being perceived. We gotta let go of that. It may require a little bit of self-work, and honestly, it may take some time and effort because, yeah, well, it won't happen like this, you know? But with practice, effort, time, persistence, you'll get there. And it will build up your confidence. And ultimately, it will better up your life overall because honestly, when you show up as your most authentic self, this is when you get the best relationships, the best opportunities, because it's true alignment. So I would suggest just work on that a little bit. just reflect on your need to protect yourself. What kind of experiences led you to this point? And you'll see with time, like I said earlier, you'll get better at this. And at some point, you will not feel the need to be accepted, validated, because it will come from yourself. And that is true self-acceptation. Let's get to the next point. So, okay, if I'm not afraid of being seen and judged or perceived or whatever, what's next? And you're right, there's a next step. How can you embody your most authentic self if you don't know what that means? Great question. We're going to answer that. The first way to get to know yourself is questions. Start by being curious about who you are, what you stand for, your values, your interests. Ask yourself small, simple questions, because starting vague will not help you out, to be completely honest. If you just start with a super wide question like, who am I? You're gonna struggle. And we're trying to avoid struggle because we all know that our brain likes easy stuff. And I don't want you to feel discouraged on this beautiful, amazing journey of self-discovery, authenticity, and all that stuff. So start with very precise questions that give you enough room to ponder, but that are also kind of guiding you. So training wheels, kind of. And I'm going to give you some examples. You don't have to use them. These are just examples. Maybe you can start by asking, okay, what do I value the most and why? Maybe it's family, freedom, hard work. Start by asking yourself these type of questions. Why do you value these things? What made you value these things? Was it always this way? You can ask yourself, what fills my cup? What do I enjoy? What do I not enjoy and why? Is there something that you genuinely freaking dislike? Why? And with these kind of questions, you're gonna go very far. I highly recommend that you write them down. Journaling is always a great practice. But you don't have to, because honestly, I get it. Not everyone likes to journal. That's okay. You can just, kind of talk about it with a friend. Because honestly, saying it out loud can really help you. The gears in your brain are gonna go hard. And another thing that you can do is just think about it if you're not that kind of person. If you're not very writing or sharing, just think about it. Find your answers. That's okay. As long as you start by developing this curiosity, getting to know yourself on a deeper level. And of course, there's so many prompts and questions that you can look up online, like thank you Google, right? The next thing that I want to talk about is, of course I started with the obvious, with question everything, question yourself, who you are, da. Honestly though, this next one is maybe not for everyone ever, but getting out of your comfort zone. What does it mean to get out of your comfort zone? Could mean anything. A lot of people say that, but there's no real definition of it. It's whatever it means for you. And I'm gonna give you an example for me. When I got out of my comfort zone, it was when I started going to open mics and performing. I always thought I was a very shy person, and it was hard for me to be seen by others and to develop relationships until I've started going to open mics. Why does it matter if you expand yourself and get out of your comfort zone? Because you get to analyze yourself under a new light. You get to know yourself in a different perspective. And that's what really matters, because if you're always doing the same things with the same people, it gets repetitive. And at some point, it's kind of as if your brain turned off, and you won't get to analyze and observe yourself in a different environment where your patterns will be challenged. That's the whole concept of it. So yeah, I discovered that I was actually quite a social butterfly, and that it was very easy to talk to me. I was a very supportive person. And I was actually good at talking and performing, and I actually enjoyed being seen by others. Of course, it took a little bit of courage for me to do that, and this is why I'm saying maybe not everyone will be comfortable with doing that, but this is the whole point, getting uncomfortable. So, highly advise, whatever it looks like for you, I encourage you to do that. And honestly, it will pay off. Now, the last one is very, very, very easy and maybe a little bit vague, but that's okay. Become the observer. I love the internet. I love our technology world and whatever, but in a world that is like literally filled with distractions, it can get really complicated to just sit down and be and observe. But this is what will pay off the most, because when you're just being yourself, not listening to music, listening to TikTok, whatever, when you're just being yourself, sitting with yourself, you're gonna get to know your thoughts, your emotions, your energy. And this is what really matters. Because no matter what happens, everyone has a blueprint. Now, okay, we always go through change. I agree. The constant thing about life is that it changes all the time. There's a cycle of death, rebirth, seasons, whatever. And it's true, you're always gonna change. But there's something inside of you that is the value of your person, the essence, the core, and that will never change. So this is what we're trying to understand and get comfortable with and get to know. This is authenticity, baby. Your heart. And ultimately, this is subjective. Everyone is different. But most of the time, you'll get to know that side of yourself by sitting down with yourself. The answers are always within. That is without a doubt. But of course, how to get them is up to you. So now that we talked about, okay, I got to know myself, I released my blockages and my fears, what do? The answer is embodiment. To embody is kind of like, picture yourself as water. You know, when you put water in something, it will take the shape of the thing. So you're basically taking shape of yourself. It may sound kind of weird and silly, but it's true. You have to embody that most authentic version of yourself. And this is where, I don't think that making vision boards and creating a character and all of these things are going to help you, because if you're here and you're trying to get there, it may be discouraging. And this is not the emotion that I want you to have on your self-discovery authenticity journey. I want you to feel empowered. So it's okay to be where you're at right now. Meet yourself there and slowly work your way up until you feel very aligned with who you are. But with embodiment, I would advise you to maybe make a list of qualities that you have, that you want to embody. Maybe you want to be more sociable, be more optimistic, be more organized. Whatever it is for you, write it down and start embodying that. But know that it comes from a place of authenticity, and a blueprint, not an idealized version of yourself. Because to be yourself is not to be perfect. Perfection is never achieved. And that's the truth. A lot of people want you to feel like you're never enough because they're selling you something. A cream, a course, a product, whatever. But what really matters is that yourself and you're happy with yourself. Gosh, can't talk. Just too mad at these people. There's freaking scammers. You're perfect the way that you are, is the truth. So just be yourself. But again, this is very vague, so let's just continue on the thought I was having. Embodiment. Honestly, this one may be a little bit hard. This is why I advise you to kind of scan your environment, the people that you're with. Do they trigger you into a defensive or lesser version of yourself? Do they not support you into your self-discovery authenticity journey? You gotta be honest with that. And I'm not advising you to cut them off necessarily. I know that we live in a very cancel culture, black and white, yes or no type of world. You don't have to approach it that way. Maybe you just want to distance yourself a little bit from these people. And that's okay. From these environments, these habits. But if you feel like they're really affecting you negatively, I would advise to just cut it off. Because it's not worth it. Ultimately, like I've said earlier, the only person that is going to support yourself is yourself. And this may be a little bit harsh, but it's true. However, I would say that get comfortable with the uncomfortable. Once again, I know we've talked about this before. I just wanted to reintegrate that into your little brain. You will get triggered. You will still meet situations where you are challenged. where old patterns and habits and ways of thinking and acting are going to come up. And this is where you're going to claim back your power. Because to be authentic is to be powerful. You're standing in your power. These, negative things will not stop happening because you're a better version of yourself. As a matter of fact, maybe they'll happen even more. But what is really, really the key here is to just accept it and be like, hey, new me, authentic version of me. I don't have to run away anymore. That's okay. So yeah, you'll be challenged a little bit, but it's part of the journey. And it will just make your convictions and your values stronger. So at the end of the day, it's kind of for you. Now, ultimately, this journey will take a while. I'm not gonna lie to you. It can get difficult. It can be lonely, maybe sad. You'll have to grieve past things, and that's okay. It's part of the human experience, but do not give up. And like I said earlier, this is a treat for yourself and the world around you, because we need that. And it takes a lot of courage. So I'm happy that you've clicked on this video, and I'm happy that you're doing this for yourself, for the world, because you'll see what I mean when you get there. But once you embody that most authentic version of yourself, honey, the world is different. You're gonna approach things differently. And that is the gift right there. So, the final lesson on embodiment is have fun with it. I talked about reaching perfection earlier and how perfection doesn't exist. It's true. And you're not here to reach someone else's standards. You're not here to reach any standards, honestly. And do not be tricked into thinking that you have to be someone or anything. Just be yourself. And that's enough. That is more than enough. Have fun with it, because this journey is exciting. Nothing more, nothing less. Very exciting. And it will guide you onto something greater. So if you feel lost in life, start by finding yourself. Now, I know very well that, the world can be scary and everything, and you'll be like, okay, I'm gonna follow all of your advice, but what happens if the ifs are irrelevant? The world will always be a little bit scary. There will always be mean people. There will always be shitty situations. Don't let the what ifs hold you back. Maybe even let them motivate you. If you're that kind of person, getting motivated by fear and rage is not recommended, but if it works, I'm happy for you. So let's jump to the conclusion, shall we? Ultimately, I know that I've used this example a lot in the past, but you're planting seeds within yourself, and it will take patience, open-mindedness, and a lot of compassion for yourself throughout this process, because growth can be quite challenging, and that's okay. But with time, you're gonna get to notice the results. And no, it's not all about results, you're right. You'll slowly get roots. How do I explain this? Quite literally, you're gonna get roots that grow deeper, deeper, and deeper within your core, the essence of who you are, and it's gonna be stronger and stronger and stronger. So be patient, give yourself time, and sometimes you'll fail, you'll mess up. Sometimes, yeah, it happens that you go back to your old patterns and habits, but that's not really what matters. Failure will only teach you about, okay, maybe my system was not strong enough. Maybe I still need to do a little bit of work around that area, that topic, that subject. And I'm slowly getting into that myself. For a while, I've been working on, okay, who am I? And who am I without all of these limitations, these masks that I've been putting on for a while? It's been a process. That's all I'm gonna say. It's been a lot, but I'm slowly finding inner peace, and that's all that matters, really. Like, we talk about confidence, glow up, this and that, but the ultimate goal really is inner peace, because you'll realize that with time, your desires to be better, perfect, to be someone else, to be this, to be that, they will never be fulfilled. Desire is kind of like a black hole that lives within you. It's never satisfied. So do not aim for that. Again, aim for authenticity. Authenticity will bring you inner peace, fulfillment, and that's really what matters. But the way that you do that, it's up to you. You're gonna left or right. Up to you. You are the creator of yourself, truly. I know that, science and studies say that we're kind of a product of our environment, and this is why earlier I said you should analyze your environment, but I don't fully believe in that, just because I've seen it, and there's a lot of people that defy the stereotypes and rules that comes with their environment. So yeah, we're conditioned, but you can recondition yourself, if you will. I'm encouraging you to take that path. I'm encouraging you to keep going no matter what. And you'll get there. Trust me. With time, you'll get there. So I hope that this video has brought you a little bit of comfort. Because, yeah, it's the whole point. And a little bit of guidance, clarity. I hope you enjoyed walking with me, because I totally did. And I hope that, you feel supported in this journey, because you are. And like I said earlier, it's going to benefit everyone ever. So if you enjoy this, please consider liking, subscribing, and commenting, because I do read all of your comments and I answer. Not gonna lie. And I love it. I love talking with people, so what can I say? If you're interested in more of my content, you can check out my other videos. This is kind of a new style, so if you enjoy it, please tell me, because I may make more of them. I don't know. And if you're looking for further spiritual guidance, you can totally check out my other channel. I do card readings, energy healing. If you're interested in a private consultation, I do have a website. So yeah, apart from that, like everyone else, I have all the social media ever. So TikTok, Instagram, Twitch, all that. You can find me down below. It's going to be linked. And I wanted to say thank you so much for sticking with me. Take care of yourself. Embrace yourself. I wish you the best of the best. And bye. See ya.